What's up, everybody? This is Jesse and Justin, soon to be a couple more. Episode 81, Comic Conversation. It is Thursday, but we're a little bit early tonight, scheduling and what have you. So apologize ahead of time for the 30-minute time change, but thanks for being here with us. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about, as we normally do. A lot of great news. Some things that we were going to talk about last week, episode 80. We had a last-minute, really great guest, Steve Boraka, CBCS president, telling us about the move to Dallas. So that took up, and how that sort of just evolved into a conversation about everything. So that took up most of the show, which was fantastic. I loved it. But we got some things from last week that we'll talk about today. One of which being what our favorite intercompany crossovers are. That seems to be, at least on the Marvel side, a rarity. We do see that a little bit with DC and, the Hanna-Barbera folks, Power Rangers, He-Man type of stuff. We'll get into that. Also, some movie news. We always bring you the latest and greatest in movie developments. And, of course, we'll wrap things up at the end with some great birthday celebration for Superman and Action 1000, right? So we'll get into that. But first, before Justin tells us how his week's been, let's go ahead and give a few shout outs in the chat. We'll do this, throughout the show. If you're watching this later, leave us a comment. We want to know you stopped by and what your, input was on any of these topics, as well as if you came to us from iTunes or, Stitcher, wherever you're streaming a podcast from, audio version of this. We definitely want to let you know that you're here. It's part of this family with us. We love to have you with us. All right, so let's go ahead and give some shout outs. We got Chai Perez. He says first. Absolutely, you were first. Jason Smith was second. Nice to have you here, Mr. Smith, Agent Smith. BWK, our Blue Wrench man here, Adam Comically Flawed, says, what up, y'all? Nice to have you here. Make sure you're regulating that chat, good sir. Splash Page Comics is here as well. He says hello. Hello to you as well. 1 minute to blast off. I hope I was on time with that. Hopefully Houston didn't have too much of a problem with that blast off time. JoJo's Comics is here as well. What's up, people? I think JoJo is our favorite stoner, if you know what I mean. Tats Comics is here. Has he started yet? We have started. Hopefully you see that. And he's saying hi to everybody. Iron Galactus as well. He's watching from the road. He's a road warrior, apparently. And we have Comic Book Brother here as well. Hello to you. Good, sir. Nice to have you with us. Otaku Dan 48 says, what's up, people? What's up, yeah? All right. And I think that is... Oh, no. I didn't scroll down. Missing some people. Gomez is here early today. Yeah, we're a little bit early. I got some stuff going on later, so had to bump it up just, 30 minutes. So hopefully that's good for y'all. Or if you love this time, maybe we can move it to 8 o'clock permanently. It's up to you guys. Give us your feedback on that. We also have C Wooder 19 here. C Wooder did a really great entry for my contest, which has about a week and a half left, you guys. Just letting you know that it does end in at the end of this month is the end date for it. So you have this weekend and then all through next week to that last weekend. So about a week and a half. See Woodard is locked in though. He's got his entry. Definitely make sure you don't forget and get your entries in as well. All right, so going down a little bit further, and we have Philly Superman. What's up, man? Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us. And I think that's it for now. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. And stick around while Justin tells us how he's been.
Good. How you guys been?
How you doing?
No. It's been a good, solid week. Nothing too crazy going on. A lot of good stuff. Had a pretty small haul this week. That was enjoyable to the bank account. Really appreciated that. But yeah, just normal stuff. Nothing too crazy.
Sweet. All right, cool. Sunday morning comics too. Still rocking.
Oh yeah.
With that.
Also, everybody. Also, head over to my Twitter page, or if you follow Jesse or Edwin or whatever, you've seen it reposted. We threw up a poll for Jesse and I to do battle with each other over on Lords of the Longbox channel for a Fanboy Fight Club edition. So you got some choices there, and one that I didn't think people would vote for is in the lead. So check that out.
That's right. And I'm seeing Mr. Strictly here as well.
Mr. Strictly, huh?
I know. I like calling you that for some reason.
Hey, if it sticks, it sticks, I guess.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Strictly. That's how I know you guys. Right. How you been, man?
Good. It's been very, very busy. Been pressing, and some pressing. But other than that, it's just been another week. I agree with Justin. It has been kind of a light week for as far as new comics are concerned, which is kind of good.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's good. Kind of prepping for Infinity War, to be honest with you. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a monster.
Yeah. We're like a week out. 8 days, 9 days.
Yeah. Oh, we got to do our predictions too. I don't know if this week or next week, but we definitely got to do that.
We actually, the weekend that I mentioned my camera on, how about we do that first? The week that you were at Dallas Comic Fest, we actually did those. So I have a few of them.
Oh, okay.
I have some of them right here. So let us know. Let me know. I'll put it on this list. You guys let me know too. Jackie O, Deb Pulica, Jason Smith, JoJo, Brian B, Jeremy Edwards, Fish Tropic, and then Justin and myself are the ones who put in some predictions. So if you didn't hear your name, let me know and I'll put it on the list. But yeah, a lot of people, it's funny. This is the craziest estimation thing. Everybody is over $200 million on an opening weekend by a lot. Like the lowest one is $250 million, which normally we would laugh at that, but that's probably pretty damn accurate.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's going to break records.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah, it's already breaking records, right? In the pre-sales.
No, I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen them either.
Yeah. So it was Black Panther for a while. And then, Infinity War said, hold my beer, and basically just destroyed every other movie in pre-sales.
Somebody made a good point saying that if Black Panther is still in theaters during Infinity War, that it could lead a lot of people to go see Black Panther again, which would boost the sales of Black Panther even more.
Yeah. For the all-time gross, that would bump it up.
Mm-hmm. I
see some people. Yeah,
I can see that happening. Or theaters just hanging on to Black Panther like for an extra couple weeks before they, turn that over to some other film.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy too. Right around that time, I think Black Panther comes out on Blu-ray, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. We got some guesstimations in the chat.
Yeah, I'm writing them down now. I'm on Comic Book Brother now. 200. Well, I think it lined up originally with the original release date in May.
Oh, okay.
With the release of the Blu-ray. And then they moved it a little bit, but yeah, for sure. That's pretty interesting strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're looking for not only a bump in box office gross from that, but they're looking to Blu-ray sales. That Infinity War will bump Blu-ray sales for Black Panther as well, just based on the timing of when that's released.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
so it's pretty cool
for all Marvel movies.
Yeah, right. All right, I'm up to Phillies 325. All right. Yeah, and we were saying at the time, for the domestic opening weekend, the typical average, especially for these movies, this genre, is about 3 to 3.5 times what it did on the opening weekend for the all-time gross.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take your estimate and do that math, you can kind of figure out what the movie, based on your estimate, would make overall. So I don't know. That's a little too nerdy for most people, but
$1 billion.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the topics here. We'll just jump right into it. The first thing, kind of quick, just wanted to mention that Jessica Jones was renewed for a 3rd season on Netflix. Awesome. So that's expected, kind of expected. I wasn't entirely sure what they were going to do, just based on, you know, Marvel pulling stuff and then the digital that they're having their own streaming service. But it looks like they're just whatever was already on Netflix in terms of the shows is going to continue on that format, and everything else is being pulled, right? So I was, to tell you the truth, a little underwhelmed by this season of Jessica Jones. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely missing the villain that the season 2 had, if you know what I mean.
The season 1 had, you mean?
Season 1, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at season 3 when I said
I'm
that.
a bad comic book fan. I still have not watched season 2 of Jessica Jones. Like, I have some kind of just mental block about it, I guess. Like, I'm just not in a hurry to watch it.
And then you hear me saying stuff like that, and you're like,
That's,
oh, yeah,
I haven't
that
heard
doesn't
exactly. Amazing. So,
yeah.
You know,
you're right. There's not a lot of buzz out there. You do get more history of Jessica Jones, more character development, all that stuff. But my wife and I are about maybe halfway through season 2, and it's not bad so far. But I agree with Jesse. It's not so far. It hasn't been anything, you know, to get too excited about.
Yeah. One of the things I really like about, you know, especially like the really, hey, Chris, it's you. We'll get to you in a second.
All right.
Let
me interrupt you.
All right. So one of the things I really like about the superheroes, I really like superheroes who have gone through something emotionally or physically that's really like they're battling these villains, but at the same time they have this great internal struggle. Right. Jessica Jones obviously fits right into that. And the show really dives, like you just said, really deep into her psyche and her backstory, why she drinks so much, why she pushes everyone away, why she's just kind of like, you know, the way she is, you know. So that's pretty cool. I like that aspect of it. Like I said, I didn't like that there was that lack of a really charming villain that the first season had. In fact, I would go out on the limb and say there wasn't really a really cohesive villain for this season. There was some people that did some things that were bad, but there was no, like, you know, I don't know how to say.
Well, let me ask you a question, because I haven't finished it, but does Luke Cage show up? Because I haven't seen him yet, and he was in season 1. He doesn't show up at all in season 2.
I didn't see him. Maybe I missed him, but I didn't see him. And if he did, then it was completely insignificant.
Okay.
So, yeah. I will say I'm glad that they are done with the Hand as villain. I was done with that. Like, cool, they're fine, you know, where they were, but enough's enough with the Hand. So I'm glad. But one thing that did frustrate me, and I think Philly Superman mentioned it at the time too, was the story about why she chose Alias as the name. There was such a great, obvious thing to use for that. I don't know if you got that far, Edwin. And I'm trying to avoid spoilers because I don't know.
I don't mind spoilers.
Okay.
But I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. So she got Alias and the jacket from an old boyfriend that she like really loved. And like he had a club or a bar or something, and it was like Alias. But it should have come from her mother's name, which if you switch the words around, it was all the same letters. And that, you know, if we go back to that whole, like, you know, that psychological, you know, impact, that would have been, for me at least, much greater of a reason to choose the word Alias versus like this dude who, you know, used to run with, you know, 20 years ago. So anyways, yeah.
What about Chris? Did Chris watch it?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a chance. Like, I try to watch this stuff with my wife, and it's just with her. She likes to watch things, you know, and she likes to watch it really, really slow, which you know, is good in some cases and is annoying in other cases. So it's just like, you know, it's just like, I mean, just to give you a little bit of it, like we haven't gotten through Defenders yet, just because. She's like, you know, we'll watch one and she'll be like, okay, that's enough. I'm like, what? Okay, but you know, you do realize this is what, like, that one's, I think, like 12 episodes, right? Defenders.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's just like, you do realize, like, you know, by the time that we finish this, it's going to be the middle of August. Like, You know, can we like beat this?
I think it was shorter than that.
Either way, it'd still be the middle of August before we finish.
Okay,
Yeah.
so does she do that because she doesn't want to just binge and burn through everything in like one weekend?
No, she does it because she'll do it just because it'd be like, all right, you know, if there's some time to burn before bed, she'd be like, okay, watch this or whatever, and then it's just like, but she'll be like, all right, let's watch just one, or if it's like, you know, on the weekend, same deal. Yeah, I think instead of like, you know, burning, you know, 3 hours at a time or something like that, she'll just be like, oh, you know, let's just watch, you know, and she'll be like, all right, let's watch it, and then okay, and then she'll be like, all right, I'm done. I'm like, you're done. There's still more here to go, but you know,
Right.
but yeah, like so by the time we get to Jessica Jones, the next thing is probably going to be like on its way out and like, oh, cool. So you know, I don't know when I'm going to get around to watching that. I mean, the only one I can get her to like sit down and watch, like, you know, really sit and watch a few episodes at a time is Stranger Things. Like, she loves that show. But you know, I haven't seen it. I'm not quite sure if the whole allure of the Defenders is kind of gone as far as those shows are concerned, because of the fact that, you know,
maybe the other three, but we still love Daredevil.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so Daredevil is the only one that shines out of the three of them. And it's just like, you know, I mean, Iron Fist was kind of like, you know, really just took so many people out of it that I think that, you know, by the time Defenders came along, people were like, oh, okay, like, you know, this really doesn't make up for what Iron Fist did. And then, you know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate Iron Fist, but it definitely was. I mean, it's just like
unforgivable
when you
sin.
start,
never be forgiven.
But it's just like when you get to like breaking it all down, and it's just like, you know what, you started out with Daredevil, right? Then Jessica Jones, all right, pretty good, not exactly the same. And then Luke Cage, you know, kind of another step. I mean, I'm a big Luke Cage fan, so for me it was up there again. But then it's just like, okay, Daredevil season 2 was like way up here. It was incredible, and it's just like, well, how the hell are you gonna follow that? And honestly, like, that's what happened. It was just like, how do you follow that? Like, I mean, they should have came up with Punisher right after that, and then, you know, just had that big momentum, and then put the other ones on the back burner, I think, for a little bit, and be like, all right, we have to match what we did with this, because you know, they kind of just, you know, went ahead and just showed everybody what they could do, and then it's like, yeah, these shows aren't as good, so I think people are either skipping them or just, you know, really just watch a few episodes, maybe don't like it as much as the other ones, and then just be like, you know what, done. I just move on to something else.
Yeah. I think they need to be done with Danny Rand as Iron Fist. I really want. We saw it in one of the videos. The older guy. There was a little clip. It's like World War II or something. He was on a Japanese island. That was Orson Randall, and he had, you know, the chi with the guns. It's called Gun Fu, and that would be pretty badass. Yeah.
Didn't he have the mask?
Orson
He had a
Randall.
mask on, didn't he?
He did. He had the mask on. Yeah. I want to see Orson Randall. I want them. I hope that was like an Easter egg or something they're going to do in the future.
I mean, they could. They could. It's just
thing of like, how can they fit Danny's like mini fro underneath that?
I don't know.
he's got that like curly wavy hair.
True.
shave his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
He I don't, what's the actor's name? I forget. Finn Jones. Yeah. Just
be like, Finn, we really need you to shave your head, or at least get a whiffle, something.
Yeah.
Bald cap, and then
have the boss from Office Space come over and be like, "Yeah,
Bill Lumberg.
I'm gonna need you to shave your head by 3 o'clock."
Okay.
Yeah.
That would depress him.
Then he'd quit, and we could get a new Iron Fist. All right. So that's pretty much all there was for that news. Just that they announced that there's going to be a season 3, and what that probably means is you'll inevitably hear, following months here that some of the other shows will be announced too. Because I doubt they'll do a third Jessica Jones without doing a third Daredevil, another Punisher. You know what I mean? So we're definitely going to get more of those too.
Yeah. I mean, if they canceled Daredevil and like, but you guys want more Jessica Jones, right? Like, unless Daredevil's in it, no. Like, I don't quite see why you would, get rid of him. But I'm curious if they're gonna be announcing like just more shows. But then again, as they're going towards, as Disney is going towards that whole, you know, I think it's that the streaming service that they want to do themselves, they might be holding off, just kind of like no more Netflix shows, just, you know, but then once that comes up, it should be, you know, some pretty cool stuff coming out on it.
Yeah, for sure. They pulled their movies and stuff. So this stuff is kind of like locked into Netflix, but I think we were talking about the animated Deadpool show recently. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that is going to end up over on the streaming service. Like it was pulled from FXX, but I don't think it's done. I don't think Donald Glover is done with it. I think it's going to go over to that. So a lot of these things are kind of like pulling back and keeping in house unless they already have a contract in place, i.e. the one that they have with Netflix.
Yeah.
So
that's smart if that's what they're doing. And I know we talked about this, but that would definitely be some good filler between like Deadpool 2 and X-Force or Deadpool 3.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, that's honestly, that's kind of like the way with the future. You get, you know, your Netflixes, your Hulus, your Amazons, all this stuff that's really vying for the market share. And, you know, these package deals, this cable stuff is kind of, it's going to be.
It's crazy.
Obsolete in the future. Yeah. It's going to be.
Channels, you're going to have apps.
Exactly. It's going to be a la carte TV.
Yep. And it makes even YouTube, because it was the Cobra Kai thing. Like I mean, I know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one, but it's just like I'm trying to figure out how I can get it for free without signing up or something. I don't want to, like, I really
YouTube
just
Red. Yeah.
I don't want to sign up for something and then be like, oh, like after this 1 month like that, I'm done. I just want to see Cobra Kai and that's it.
What, YouTube Red?
Yeah. I got the YouTube Red, honestly, not for that, just to get rid of the ads.
Yeah, I did
so
too.
It's totally worth it, you guys. You should definitely get.
How much is it a month?
$10.
It goes on my card. Yeah,
it's $10.
Yeah, it's totally worth it though. Let me tell you, depending on how much you're on YouTube, and because we're content creators, of course, we spend some time on here. You know, it's worth it. Let me tell you.
Yeah, there are other advantages too. Like you get YouTube Music, and you can download stuff. And
if you're on your phone and you're playing a video, you're just listening to somebody, you can just do it with this show too. You can actually close the phone and lock it, and it will still play.
Yeah.
Like one of the big complaints with the app on the phone, at least with the iPhone, was if you locked it or it shut off or whatever, it would pause the video and you couldn't watch it. Couldn't do anything else on the phone. So
but
for a price, you can get rid of that problem.
But that's going to be a pretty. I mean, and I'm curious too. Like with the way everything is going, you know, how come you don't see more cable companies like, you know, tossing more deals at people? Because I mean, it's just like, all right, so if you just put it like, you know, if you get Netflix, Hulu, and then, you know, the Disney service, you know, when that comes out, you know what I mean? It's just like $30 or let's just, you know, let's say the $10 each a piece. It's just like, you know, $30 each a month versus whatever you're paying for cable. And then it's just like, you know, if you, you know, if you can, you know, deal with not having, you know, live television and stuff like that, you'd be fine. I mean, it's just like, I mean, to cut your cable bill down to $30, I mean, like, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so everybody pause for a second. I gotta say hello to Dark Avenger C86. He's in the chat. Love my Chris. He's awesome. You guys got to check out his channel. Check out Comic Frontline as well. They're our friends. You know, love what they do over there. A lot of stuff going up. So shout out to them. I see Carl on bass as well. It's not Carl on bass, guys. He's not a fisherman. He's a musician. All right.
Fisherman and all
that right now.
Why isn't he making any fishing videos?
That's right. Damn it. I want to see fly fishing in a river.
Right. No. Tell us about a comic book while you fish.
That's right.
He's a Texas native.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, bass guitar for the win. He says, yeah, so cool. All right, so the next thing, the reason I put this on the list, it just basically is Fox Sky News. I saw a lot of videos on YouTube about something that happened recently about Comcast had bid on Sky, or they bid on Fox, and that means that the whole deal is done. Like Fox is trying to screw over Disney. They're trying to screw over Marvel. Like the whole merger is going to be done. Like I don't know if you guys heard all that stuff. Like people were like basically, chicken littling the shit out of it. But that's completely wrong. That's not what's happening at all. So, and I don't know how much you guys know about it, so I'll just kind of run through it a little bit quickly. But so first of all, Comcast. What is true is that Comcast did bid for Fox, but they are moving forward with the Disney bid. It was like 60 billion something. Comcast also bid for Sky, which is they do sports and news in Europe. That was a good like $31 billion thing. So there's a couple things there. So there's the Sky. So Fox is bidding on Sky. They want to buy Sky in Europe, and that's a completely separate thing than Disney buying Fox. There's a little bit of overlap because there's some things with like antitrust and some of the regulators, like it's CMA in Britain, that are saying that it will create an unfair kind of marketplace, and we see that here. Like one of the things with Time Warner and AT&T merging, it's taking a long time because the Justice Department is putting them through the ringer. They're doing the same thing there with antitrust laws, and they're probably going to do the same thing with Fox and Disney when they get around to it. But completely separate story. They are expected to have a decision by May 1st for the CMA. They actually, part of that, and you may have heard about it in the news, was that the CMA actually raided the 21st Century Fox offices in London. People are like, oh my God, they did that. But that's kind of like a standard thing. They wanted to get in there, look at some of the paperwork. There was a lot of concern about it being an antitrust thing and unfair marketplace if it went through. So they were trying to kind of appease, that. So they are moving forward with it. Fox does want to already own actually a percentage of Sky. So what they're wanting to do is buy their remaining 61%. So then they would own it. One of the things that might happen, and was proposed, was that Disney might buy Sky instead of Fox.
Oh, man.
And then it would end up being the same thing anyways, but it would kind of assuage those concerns about antitrust, even though in the end it would end up being the same thing, right? So there's a little bit there, but a couple of separate things. So the Sky Fox thing, the Comcast bid is completely separate. This is moving forward. And I have even better news for you than that. It was last week that Fox, there's been a lot of concern, and I don't know firsthand, but it's been concern, so to speak, from that's been put out in the press from people that actually work in Fox and, in the offices and the studios about what's going to happen. So Peter Rice, who is the president for 21st Century Fox, he actually had a town hall last week on the lot in Fox in California. And he basically told everybody that they need to move around these assets. The things that are going to Disney are going to go to Disney. So what they're going to have left is like FS1, FS2, Fox News. Basically, he actually called it. What did he call it? He called it Diet Fox, just kind of like as a joke. It's because it's a lighter version of Fox, right? It's probably going to be called just Fox. But what he said was, with those remaining assets they're keeping, it has to be up and running and ready to go. Like as soon as the deal's done, like that new company has to just be ready to go. And he said that the target for that is summer of 2019. So summer of next year. But if you look at the flip side of that, what that also means is that the Disney Fox merger will be done then as well, because they want to be ready when that's done, ready to go. So we're looking at at the absolute latest, the end of summer of 2019 for the Disney Fox thing to go through.
I mean, that's cool on the Disney side, but it's just on the Fox side, though. It's still kind of just like, really? So
Yeah.
we have to be right. I mean, it's just, I just look at it where it's just like that's such a like strict deadline. It's just like, I mean,
you know what? All the Fox News stuff is probably the most profitable part of the Murdoch portfolio.
Yeah.
So I'm not like they'll be fine. Basically, it's gonna end up being like a new startup kind of, but like a multi-billion-dollar startup. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I just see it like, I just figure, wow, that's so quick. I mean, because some 2018 is what, 2 months away. It's just like, so basically almost a year from now. It's just like, everything should be all hammered out and ready to go.
Exactly right. So what it does include, just so everybody knows, and we've talked about this before, but they are of course getting X-Men, Fantastic Four. We all know that. They're also getting Avatar, which is a moneymaker for them. They already have a share in Hulu, but this is going to bump them up to 60%, which is a controlling share. Which is huge because we were just talking about how all the streaming stuff is the wave of the future. This is a very strategic thing, positions them against Netflix and Amazon, all that. So there's going to be the Disney streaming. They're going to have a controlling share in Hulu. They're going to have ESPN streaming as well. That's going to be some other, they're moving forward with. And another thing, another thing that's huge is obviously Disney owns Star Wars, right?
Yep.
But the big but, it was Fox who retained the distribution rights to the first film, so episode 4, that was retained in perpetuity.
Just 4 or 4, 5, and 6?
Episode 4. It was for the first film. So they're getting that back, and that's a massive thing too. If you ask me, right? Okay. Yeah. So they're getting the Fox movie and TV studios. There's a bunch of them. FX Network, Nat Geo, assuming that so either they're gonna get Sky if the Fox thing finally goes through by May, or they'll maybe just end up buying it themselves because they'll have enough power for that. And then there's a company in India that's part of the whole deal too. So they're getting quite a bit of stuff, and what was said by the Russos very recently, I think it was Joe Russo. He was talking in an interview over in England. He said, and this is just would be interesting is the key there. Not, it's I would love to read more into it. But so he said, if the deal goes through, there's a lot more characters that they would all of a sudden have, right? They'd have all the Fox stuff, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, everything. So he said, this is Joe Russo, you guys should know is pretty important for the MCU.
Yep.
He said it would be interesting to do something like Secret Wars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, and again, we want to jump to that, like, oh my God, that might be phase 4 or something, or phase 5, but
Get your Secret Wars comics.
But it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. Yeah. So does that all make sense? I mean, what I was saying. So, like the whole thing about Comcast bidding on anything does not negate anything. The whole thing with Fox bidding on Sky does not negate anything. The Disney and Fox deal is going to go through, and they are looking at a hard end date for it to be closed by the end of summer 2019. Facts. That's all you guys need to know. So
I'm curious too. Doesn't Fox, I think, is the company that either owns or made Terminator, right?
Yes.
So they got Terminator 2 in that point. Oh, wow.
Just and there's another one in the works as well. So yeah.
Wow. It's just, I mean, that's awesome, and that's it. Just, I mean, just to hear potential Secret Wars is just like, I mean, I'm just going through the characters in my head, who they would have to bring in. I mean, and it's just like, I mean, that includes X-Men, that includes, the Hulk, the whole, like, just a whole bunch of different new villains and heroes, and just.
It sounds like another 10 years of buildup for Secret Wars.
But before you can put them all together, put the Beyonder in there.
It's gonna be a lot of integration there. Some people were talking about, and I don't know if I agree with this, but kind of like M Day already happened, so the mutants are already gone. and kind of like reversing M-Day would be a way to bring them back into the MCU. And I don't know if I agree with that, but it's an interesting kind of theory there. Lords of the Long Box.
Everybody forget. Now they remember. They can see
That's
them
right.
again. Holy crap, you guys are standing right here.
Like, whoa, man, how'd you get there?
Easily
So Dark
boy in comic book terms.
That's right. That they can do whatever they want.
That's right.
Dark Phoenix is the last one under Fox. That's right. And it's funny enough, they were doing some research for it. I guess they weren't too happy with the director and kind of like planning ahead for some of the integration there. But after that, after Dark Phoenix, it's all going to be rolled up into Disney, Marvel.
I have no problem with that though, because that like I mean to see you know, the New Mutants movie,
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of redone. I mean, even if they're not going to go with the same horror theme, just something different. I mean, keep the same cast if you like, but I mean, just to see it done and with a Marvel stamp on it, it's going to be awesome. You know, and then to see what plans they have for the. I mean, just that's going to be the toughest thing, is to be like, you know, to get everybody to be calm. Like, all right, look, this is what we have coming out. Everybody just, you know, just because there's going to be so much that people are going to want to see or want to hear right away. And it's just like, you know, with that whole, you know, merger going through and everything, it's just like, you have to look at it where it's just like, we have potentially movies for the next, like, probably like 50 years if we want. So we're going to take it slow. We're going to give you guys what you want. Just, you know, it's going to take a little time. Let us get our, you know, feet wet with everything, get everything, you know, the way it should be. We don't want to just put out subpar stuff and then, you know, make you guys mad at us. So, on the other side of it, though, it's just like, you know, that in itself, I think for the other side, you know, where it's Warner Brothers and DC and all that type of stuff, I think for them, they need to not worry so much. Like don't let this put you into overdrive and just throw everything out there to, you know, try to beat it. Just, you know, work on improving everything. Like, don't worry what they're doing over here. They're already ahead of you. Just, you know, take your own pace, make your stuff good, and then compete when you can.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you this then: where does Gambit fit in all this?
Trash.
Gambit fits in roles in the probably Disney.
Yeah.
You know
what though?
Trash.
You know what? There are movies, and they're saying in the comment. So with New Mutants, it's done in the bag. That's going to come out. They were doing some reshoots. I think it spent about $10 million on some of the reshoots for that. Dark Phoenix done in the bag. Obviously, Deadpool 2. So the other thing that's interesting is that Josh Brolin is contracted for 4 films for cable. 4 films. He'd be with this deal. He would be grandfathered in. So that would mean he'd have under Marvel. He's required to do 2 more films, and that would be something that they would have to do per his contract.
Yeah.
So whether that's an X-Force 2, a Deadpool 3. A Cable own movie, you know what I mean? Cable and Deadpool. We don't know what their plan will be, but he's gonna. If it's a contract that's already in place, it's sent over. If it's a movie that's already like, you know, in production, in development, it'll probably be sent over. If it's something that's like in the scripting phase or pre-development, like Gambit, that's probably iffy.
It's probably gonna get the X.
Yeah, so those types of movies that they've announced, but there's no director, there's no like, they haven't announced like a, you know, what do you call it? Scriptwriter, you know, whatever.
You know what that means? Goodbye Morbius movie. So now that book can start coming down to affordable prices for me, and I can buy that when it's, you know, I just it's good though, just because, you know, there's a lot of movies I think that were just questionable that people were saying, oh, like, you know, the Morbius movie, nobody wants that. Like, I'm sorry, like nobody wants to see that. Gambit movie would be interesting, but I mean, he's a hard character to just put on his own like that. You know, I mean, you can't.
Exactly.
I couldn't see a franchise with him. I'm sorry, but I mean,
he'll be one of those, you know, also featuring type of people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so Comic Book Brother says, "What's up with Wolverine?" That's an interesting question. Hugh Jackman did say this was way before all this happened, and this was like not a possibility in our eyes of this ever happening. He did say that he would be interested in, you know, he's retiring, he's done, he's hanging up his adamantium helmet or whatever you want to say. Um, but he did say that he would come back if he had the potential to work with like Robert Downey Jr. and stuff in the MCU. But I don't know if he will. So
Yeah,
I absolutely guarantee you we'll see Wolverine again.
Mhm.
But I don't think it will be Hugh Jackman. I think that there will be, somebody else cast for that role.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I mean, as much as it would be awesome to see him, and it's just like, yeah, hey, remember that promise you made way back? I think, that was kind of just one of those, when pig flies comment, you know what I mean? And it's just but then it actually happened, and it's like, you can't.
And I was like, oh, no, it
done with
doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Right. They don't want to pay him for just like one movie when they can bring in somebody else for that and then draw it out for 10 years.
Yeah. And that's what I think too. It's just, there's a bunch of young talent that I think could, play a Wolverine. It's just everyone does not see
short.
Short. Huh?
Yeah. They need to be short.
Oh, just
Wolverine's like 5 feet tall, I think, right?
Doesn't make a difference.
Like that, yeah.
Like
Hugh Jackman's actually a lot taller.
Wolverine be the tallest guy on the team again, okay?
Yeah.
But he's the coolest. It's a metaphor, Justin. He stands taller than the rest. But it's not real.
Come on.
Wolverine needs to,
or at least have the guy like hunch over. Come on, do something.
Yeah, exactly. Now I could see Ryan Reynolds stapling a picture of Hugh Jackman to his face again.
Yeah,
like he did in the first.
That'd be funny.
That would be funny. Like, hey, here's your cameo, guys. What now? So, all right, cool. Yeah,
that would be funny to actually our first appearance of like the actual Wolverine costume, and it turned out to be like Deadpool's just wearing it. Just running around the X Mansion.
That would be funny. Yeah, be like, hey, look what Hugh left behind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So next thing would be, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but they were saying, and this is basically, it's a rumor, but I kind of believe it. It's plausible to me that Yoda will be back for episode 9 for Star Wars. Basically, there was a lot of people who said, hey, that was a great Yoda, coming back. It's a Force ghost. Great. So apparently he's going to be coming back and talking to Rey a little bit more. So yeah, we'll see. Some people said it was a spoiler, but really, does that tell you anything about the movie? So I figured it was okay to say. Yeah.
I had thought that at some point, and this might have been rumors too, that somebody had made mention that J.J. Abrams was supposed to try to salvage Luke Skywalker in some way, shape, or form and bring him, not so much bring him back to life, but just kind of, at least have him, not just be, a bitter old man who just kind of, faded away. But I mean, it's still up in the air to see what happens. And I'm not sure, who's actually going to be in control more than the other one. Cause I know that, there you go, Catherine, I forget her last name. Still,
Heigl? Heigl?
No. Who's the lady that George Lucas is right hand there? That's just
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy. That's the one. I know that she kind of still holds an iron fist on that, no matter what. So it's just kind of like, regardless of going around her, trying to be like, I don't want to do it like this. I still feel like they're not going to try to completely debunk everything that happened in Last Jedi, but they need to find a plan to move forward. So if it's having her be mentored by Ghost Yoda, why not?
Yeah, she's like the Cersei Lannister of the Star Wars execs.
Yeah, I don't get why she's so just it has to be this way, But I mean, maybe she just is that loyal to the seeing that George's vision, as far as the whole was it remastered and all the rest of it, nothing can, because he was so staunch on that it had to be this way and everything like that. So maybe that's where she got it from.
I think so. And they're kind of cautious right now about moving away from the core Skywalker saga.
Yeah. Yep.
Too far. But now they are a little bit more with the stuff coming out. But I want to hear what you guys think about this. There was a petition going around, and I love this actress. I think she's one of the absolute best in Hollywood. Like, I can't think of anything that she's done bad. But the petition, and I'm torn on this because I love Carrie Fisher, and like you can't ever replace her as Princess Leia. But this petition was to have Meryl Streep play Princess Leia.
I mean,
what do you think of that? And like I said, I'm torn on it because I'm on one hand, I'm like, nah, Carrie Fisher, she's Leia. Like, that's the only Leia that'll ever be. But on the other hand, I'm like, holy shit, I love Meryl Streep. Like, she would probably nail the role if she had it, So
I think their best shot is, and I read about that too. I think their best shot would be to cast somebody that looks as close to Carrie Fisher as possible, and then digitize her face or something. Because I don't see, I don't see whatever. To be honest, I don't see whatever they do playing out good. So.
I mean,
but that would be their best bet, in my opinion.
There's mixed response in the chat right now.
I don't see it. I don't see it as a bad thing. I mean, if Meryl Streep isn't good, I mean, and she could do it. It's just like, I mean, and really, you kind of have to go with what you can. I mean, it's just like the original actress is dead. So, I mean, you can make her up to look like her. You can I mean, I'm sure she could, study Carrie Fisher's voice a little bit and get that at least close enough. I don't see it as a bad thing. I mean, it's just like, it's not like they're trying to suggest somebody who you'd be like, really her? Like they're suggesting somebody who's actually like, I mean, multiple Academy Award winner and stuff. So it's not like, it's not something that they're just throwing anybody in the role. Like they're throwing one of the best female actresses in the world in it. So I think it's not a bad idea.
Exactly right. So they did say not adamantly, but they did say that she would not be digitally recreated.
Yeah, because
I know a couple people have said it in the chat, but that's absolutely not happening. I don't know if it's her estate who said no, because I know that what was the guy's name?
Tarkin.
His estate gave the okay for that, to have that happen. So I'm sure her daughter and everything, was like, no, dude,
Big E's had a good suggestion. He said just kill her off in the scroll. Have her death explained in the scroll at the beginning.
That's right.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. There's no reason to have her in the film at all, in my opinion.
What? She's still alive. She's the only. She
was like one of the few of the rebellion.
She's like the only leadership they have. She has to be in there in some way, shape, or form. You can't just say, General Organa, like there's no need for you. You go retire. You're good.
Just I mean, like I see maybe having her like just in the beginning, because honestly, her death, Princess Leia's death, would be a great rallying cry to get, because they sent out the signal to all the other people, to help out. Nobody responded. So, her dying would be like a great reason for them to like send back a message and be like, yo, I'll help you out. They wouldn't say it like that, but
Yeah. But I mean, you can't get rid of her like that. Like it's not, I mean, you can't just be like, oh no, she's not, and she choked on like chicken bone earlier, and that's it. She's all gone.
That's right.
Well, maybe they could find some footage that they haven't, like some edited footage or something that they took out, and maybe find a way to use that or something. I don't know. I just don't see it playing out very well. That's just my opinion. I mean, it's going to be so obvious when you have Meryl Streep. No matter who you put in there, everybody's going to look at this person as not Princess Leia, as not Carrie Fisher.
Well, I mean,
that happened with Captain Kirk. That's going to happen with Han Solo. Yep. It's inevitable that these people will eventually be replaced if they want to continue with the similar story.
I mean, that type of character, to see them replaced before the story is ended. Like, it's not like, a new chapter or something like that. It's not a reboot. This is supposed to be this character, but they can't play the part anymore,
Right.
But that I think kind of will be a first, and definitely for like a film with as big a fandom as Star Wars has.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you guys I saw what was the movie?
I don't know.
The
Player
first
One,
one.
Ready Player
No, the first. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see that right when it opened. I saw it like the next weekend or something, and that was the weekend immediately following Carrie Fisher's death. I had no idea, no spoilers. I didn't know she was at the end. That was a pretty impactful moment for me when I saw her. You know, obviously it was CGI because she was younger.
Yeah.
But that was quite the moment for me. I was really taken aback by that. Yeah. I think that was really, really well done. So that being said, I don't want to see any more CGI of her. I think it's
that's a good point that Murphy put out there. Dumbledore was replaced because the old man died in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And no one had a problem with that Dumbledore. So Meryl Streep is, just think of it this way: she's Dumbledore and Princess Leia.
Yeah, too much hair,
one movie,
too much beard to know the difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
The first Dumbledore was rickety. He was rickety in the first. Like, hello, Harry. Like he was not. You could tell at that point this man is older than dirt. And then the second one, you know, younger but still old. You know what I mean? But you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, he did make a good point. It wasn't anything wrong with that. You know.
I think I saw the second Dumbledore first.
So if you saw, so you must have seen, was it I think because he only did the first, either the first and second or just the first movie. I don't know which one, but I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, and so Biggie says second Dumbledore was better. Well, he was also in way better health than the first one, but still, it's just like, you know, you look at it and it's just like, you know, it has happened in other things. Like you can do it and not have a problem.
Don
I mean, look at James Bond. James Bond has had so many people play him over time. You know,
yeah.
It's just like
I've always attributed that to being like James Bond as like the code name for a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like been my explanation for that. Yeah. Which Daniel Craig did say he's coming back. There's another one coming out.
Right.
He said, I'm not doing that anymore, but they must have thrown enough money at him. So, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, and they've even said you know, said to James Bond in James Bond films, like referring to other men that carried the 007 dezionation, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a title. Like that, his name when he was born, it wasn't James Bond, you know?
Right, exactly.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, let her be Leia for one movie. It's not gonna, you know, be that. And if she even if she dies in the movie, no harm done. So it's all fine.
Jack Yo said something that kind of reflects what I'm thinking. He's like, no, but if they have to do it, Meryl Streep would be perfect.
Exactly.
You know, if they're gonna do it, you gotta pick somebody. Go with Meryl Streep. Like, go with the best.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like they're sitting there like, you know what? Let's put Roseanne Barr in the role. You know what? She can. like they're going for somebody that like can do. They go. It's just like who's the most decorated actress that we have out there? Meryl Streep. All right, throw her in there. And it's not like they're going after somebody who's like, you know.
What if they got like Judi Dench? What if they got Judi Dench?
Judi Dench.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
She played Q. She's done a lot. That would work too.
Yeah, but she has a bad name, Dench. No one likes that name.
Well, Judi Dench,
man.
She's M. You know M. You know what M used to stand for? Trivia.
Mutant.
Mallory. You know, and that's why it was originally a guy. It was named Mallory. And the Q, you know what the Q is?
Quincy?
Nope, it was his title was he was the quartermaster. A little trivia for you. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. No matter who you get, I don't think that they're going to have a big role in the film anyways, because wasn't she like in a coma through much of
she
Last Jedi? She had a little bit in the beginning and a little bit at the end. I got
out of it and, you know, kind of rallied everybody on the planet Crate and like escaped with everybody and all that jazz. Like she woke up at one point.
She was woke.
But what I'm saying is you don't need like an you know, Academy Award winning actress or anything like that, because I could see them, whoever plays Carrie Fisher, not needing to have a lot of dialogue in the film.
Maybe not, but
Right.
still, it's just
Melissa McCarthy would be
So you don't need to pay a lot of money to get
Melissa
somebody
McCarthy.
to do this.
Exactly. Just throw Melissa McCarthy in there, like and it's just whoever. Sofia Vergara. Let's put her as Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia.
Yeah, right. So, speaking of somebody who's had more than one person as the title, Blackhawk. It's been a couple Blackhawks. There's even been a lady Blackhawk.
The Chicago.
Apparently, yeah, right. Steven Spielberg, DC announced, it's official, that Spielberg is on to produce the Blackhawk movie, and pretty much 90% likely that he'll be directing it as well. So Blackhawk, pretty cool. Got a little bit of a teaser for it in Wonder Woman with I think it was Samir, right? And they mostly are World War II-ish, so this was like pre-Blackhawk for him.
Yeah.
Right up his alley. He loves that whole like World War II, a little bit of magic thrown in, some cool stuff. So I think that's pretty neat. Obviously Spielberg has his movies he's done that we all know, so that's a big win for DC if you ask me.
Yeah.
And Kathy Yan is announced. It was on Deadline. I think it was Deadline. I read it on that. She will be directing the Birds of Prey movie.
Oh, nice.
So they're moving forward with that. Yep, they have a director for that.
I will get excited for that movie when they announce who the Birds of Prey are. You know
Harley Quinn. The actresses?
Well, no, I mean the actual characters they're going to use.
Yeah, that's true. Because there's been a couple of different
right
it's been
iterations of the team. They could go for
Black Canary.
Right. Are they going to have a Batgirl on the team?
Poison Ivy.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it going to be villains? Is it just heroes? Like they could do a lot. So they could make it a mix of sirens or turn it into Birds of Prey versus Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah.
You know?
So I guess there's a couple things there. But with Blackhawk, I think that pretty cool like period piece, World War II type of thing will be really great. And a lot of people are looking to Blackhawk 133 as like the issue to get, which is the first lady Blackhawk. There was obviously, I think it was Military Comics #1, which is like Golden Age. There was a reboot of it in the late 80s with Blackhawk, and then Lady Blackhawk. So those are Blackhawk 133. Those are like your primary like key issues if you're looking to get into it. Expensive books. You might need a few hundred.
Like my familiarity with Blackhawks comes from the Justice League animated series.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because I'm not very familiar with them either, especially in comic books.
They haven't had like a major role. I mean, DC really hasn't done a lot with them recently in any capacity that I can remember. But they were featured pretty heavily on one episode of Justice League Unlimited, I want to say. So that's like the most recent like pop culture Blackhawks reference I can think of.
Yeah, and they had like a New 52 run, which I don't think did too well.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was New 52.
It must have been like the beginning of it. I missed it.
There was a bunch that they rolled out at the beginning, and then a lot of them dropped off as well.
Right. Right.
But
this would actually be a good time to use your Key Collector Comics app. Put in Blackhawks.
That's right, and see what comes up. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So like with news of like Zack Snyder dropping off, like Justice League 2 is like that's probably not going to happen. A lot of these other movies like up in the air. Things are like radio silence. It kind of sounds like DC is not really moving forward with a whole lot. But there's actually there's actually quite a bit. Like obviously Aquaman's coming out at the end of this year. That's James Wan. We just talked about this one here, Spielberg doing Blackhawk, Kathy Yan doing Birds of Prey. A week or two ago, we talked about Ava DuVernay doing New Gods, right? Patty Jenkins is confirmed for Wonder Woman 2. Martin Scorsese is producing a Joker origin film, right? But directed by Todd Phillips. So you have that. You have Gavin O'Connor doing the Suicide Squad 2 sequel. Shazam, obviously, that's David F. Sandberg. They did say that Flashpoint is still kind of in the works, but we haven't heard a lot about it. And they have the directors that did Homecoming for that. We have Matt Reeves, who's confirmed for The Batman. Apparently Gareth Evans confirmed Deathstroke solo. No, it was Manganiello who confirmed that. You got Daly and Goldstein doing Flashpoint. I think I said that already. I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot. Is my point. They're still looking at Michael Bay for Lobo. I know that Jason Fuchs is writing a script for it, or he did. Started doing that a while back. Greg Berlanti actually last month said that Booster Gold movie is still in development.
No.
Right? We also had very recently confirmation of Christina Hodson, who did Bumblebee. She's writing the script for Batgirl. There's no director. Joss Whedon dropped off, but the fact that they pushed out news of Christina Hodson doing that, so that's pretty big. Then you got a Black Adam movie that's in the works. Apparently, you got a Justice League Dark movie. It was supposed to be Del Toro and then Doug Liman on that. Green Lantern Corps. David Goyer actually said at the beginning of the year that it's not dead, that they are moving forward with it. He was writing the script for it, but I'm going to go on a limb and say he's probably going to end up directing it as well. Then you got Man of Steel 2. I think they were looking at Matthew Vaughn for that. And then apparently, I don't know what's happening with Gotham City Sirens. There hasn't been any updates for a while. But that was supposed to be David Ayer. So it's probably, I'm going to say that one's not dead. I'm going to say that one's delayed because he did Bright and now he's working on Bright 2. And they're doing some restructuring. Right?
You know, as you
I just threw out a lot of names for you, didn't I? That's a lot of movies they still have in the works. That's a lot of movies.
Yeah, they just haven't, and it's fine. Like I said before, take your time, get these things, where you want them to be. Don't just throw them out there to compete with Marvel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential for some really good stuff to come out from DC if they just, go at their own pace and try to, do their own thing, not try to compete.
Exactly. Right. So
well, that's what I was gonna say. All the stuff you're putting out there, like my mind is just thinking of endless opportunity here. And I agree with Chris. They just got to do it right, man. You could just knock a home run right out of the park,
right,
with any of these movies.
Sadly, they've proven that they don't know what to do.
Exactly. I think they need to focus on making each of these movies individually the best movie they can be versus worrying about, how can we connect it, or how can this movie set up this movie, because that was one of my big complaints with the DCEU was they spent so much time setting up future movies that they forgot about the movie we're watching right now,
Right. No, I mean, here's how you set up the next movie, or here's how you incorporate this movie into the next movie, or however you want to do it. Post-credit scenes. Thank you. That's all.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like it. Yep. I like it. That the one at the end of Justice League was arguably one. Probably need a thumbs down for this, but probably one of the best parts of that movie, right?
Right.
So,
definitely.
Yeah. So So there's a lot in the works there, and pretty cool. I think that they're really finding their own in terms of bringing in female directors and stuff, because Patty Jenkins was great, Ava DuVernay they pulled in, so they're kind of finding their niche with that, I think. And it was what's her name, Margot Robbie, right? Yeah, Margot Robbie. Okay. She said, I'm gonna do this movie, but it's got to be directed by a woman. I may not commit to it. So she was pretty adamant about getting a female director. So I'm happy for that, but at the same time, I think that they should be judged on the merits of their work and what they're presenting versus, you're a female, that automatically means you can get this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fun one.
Yeah, it sounds like gender discrimination to me.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So All right, so that's that's a lot of movie. That's pretty good. The other thing I want to talk about was the solicitations for Marvel and DC. We got the July ones for, I think this week they came out. Did you get a chance to look at those all, or do you guys know what's coming out? What do you want to do first? Do you want to do Marvel or DC?
Yeah, I
do DC.
I glanced through, but I only saw that like awesome Art Germ variant cover.
Yeah. So this is pretty interesting to me. Ta-Nehisi Coates is doing Captain America. He's working with Laniil Yu. Adam Hughes is doing some covers and stuff. But I think that's interesting. He had some really interesting comments on him being African American and his perspective on Captain America. And he was like, it's not going to be me talking, it's going to be Captain America talking through me, but with my lens on it. So I think that kind of like piqued my interest to see what his take on Captain America is going to be. But I wasn't a big fan of Coates when he first came over to Marvel from the books, but I think he's kind of like coming into his own and kind of figuring out how comic books work differently than with prose or novelization, so I think he's gotten a lot better since he first started. So yeah. The other thing we have is Amazing Spider-Man is coming out in July. I'm also looking forward to that. I think that Nick Spencer and Otley are a great team. And I think that especially with Otley and his like really dynamic art style, I think that's gonna be perfect for Spidey.
It's getting renumbered, right?
It's gonna have renumbering, and they may do like the legacy numbering
Flash
as well.
Gotcha.
So
like both, like how they did back in the day.
That's what they're gonna be doing with like right. So they're gonna have like the regular whatever the volume is, the number for that, but also the legacy number, like little gray number underneath it.
Hopefully he doesn't not apologize. Hopefully he doesn't beg it. Just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. Like because that was a kiss of death with the whole Secret Empire thing.
Exactly right.
So it's just like just be confident, man. Because Otley's art style on Spider-Man would be really fun to see. That's actually really good news and something fun to hear.
Absolutely. And they had some of the art out for it. He's done like an online version of some of the digital or some of the interior pages for the first issue, but also for the free comic book day issue, which he's on. Nails it. He does these he's really good with like camera angles and stuff, So like I'm imagining like Spidey swinging through the city and like some cool like unconventional camera angles and stuff, that would be be good for the book. So. The other one we're getting is The Life of Captain Marvel. It's a 5-part miniseries written by Margaret Stoll with art by Carlos Pacheco. You're going to be getting some art drum covers. Fiona Staples, Sana Takeda. You guys know Sana Takeda from Tentacle Porn. Joe Quesada is doing a book. The other thing we're getting a cover, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Getting
his miniseries launching in July. That's Donny Cates. I'll be checking that out. Right, that's a pretty damn cool character. Anybody who says not has clearly not read the last 13 through 18 of Thanos. Yeah. So before you poo on it, read Thanos and then come back to me. Mariko Tamaki and Juan Cabal are going to be doing X-23. So she is leaving the mantle of all new Wolverine, but sticking around and going back to X-23, which I'm totally cool with. So I'll be sticking with that. Gabby's going to be there. Jonathan will be there. So, that's going to be good. So far, I'm liking what I'm reading. I don't know about you guys, but these are all winners for me.
Other than, I don't know about the Captain Marvel book. It's just like after Secret or Civil War 2, like I just have not wanted to pick up anything Captain Marvel. So
okay, you know what it is for me? It's probably the Archon cover.
Well, no, yeah. That's my thing is I will get that book for that cover, but I won't get the rest of the series.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
care about reading it, you know.
But they're
Right.
doing it probably for the movie that's going to be coming out soon. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
no,
Absolutely.
no doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt.
For sure. We're also getting Death of the Inhumans by Donny Cates.
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
All of it. He's going to be
Humans.
that.
Oh, wow.
You know what? The Inhumans have been right for a fall for a while, just because the fact
Mhm.
is, I mean, they've been background characters that they brought to the forefront, and then just
They pushed
they're not
on
strong
them.
enough to stay on their own. That's so.
Yeah.
Kill them off. Give them some adversity.
Yeah. It was I think Donny Cates. He actually put out who one of the villains is going to be. I think he's going to be a villain. His name is Vox. I don't know if you guys know Latin, but that means like voice, basically.
Oh wow.
Look at this
And-
villain here.
Let me say it again. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Pretty cool.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
Okay. His name is Vox, which means voice.
You know what that looks like?
It
I'll
looks
tell
like
you what it looks like. It looks like Earth X.
Yes.
yeah.
What's his name? Black Bolt. Earth
Black
X.
Bolt.
Black
That's
Bolt.
what I was thinking. He looks like Black
Yeah.
Ball.
Yep.
The
And his
helmet
name is
actually looks like
Vox, which means
Dark Bolt.
voice.
So he's gonna.
So is he like a evil opposite
Yeah.
inhuman of Black Bolt?
It's the reverse bolt. So white bolt.
He's like a little like Batman who laughs, a little Black Bolt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty badass character design though,
Yeah, I like his.
Um,
I like his Reaper.
Yeah.
his sight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a spec purchase to me.
Word.
Pretty cool.
When does that come out again?
This is gonna be all July.
July.
If you want the exact date, I'll tell you in a second.
Get all the
Maybe
variants.
not. Yeah.
First appearance of character. Oh my gosh.
It's Vox. Yeah.
Box. And we're not
Box.
talking about the walkie-talkie app that died many years ago.
Oh yeah, right. All right, so we're gonna cruise through these here. Any of these that you guys think you might like, and I'm talking to people listening, not just you guys, but definitely let your shops know, your comic shops, and put them on your list. These are all final order cutoff, so if you want a copy, guarantee yourself a copy, and at the same time helping out your shop.
Yeah.
Go ahead and throw that on your pull list.
I like Jackio's comment. Even Kate's can't make me buy Inhumans.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have X-Men Grand Design, which I have not been reading, and I've heard is not something that
I
a lot
read
of
the
people are a
first-
fan of. Did you like it? I mean, I like Ed Piskor, but I don't know.
It was cool. Like the art style is cool, and like the story's kind of it's not bad. It's just like I'm kind of waiting for it to go a little bit further to actually really culminate in something, and it just didn't. And maybe it's you gotta get the whole run in order to have it fully make sense. But
What issue's coming out in July?
Oh, this is July, yeah.
No, what issue number is it?
issue number 3. Right?
Wow, that's a long delay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I don't know if they're reworking it or something. But like, I mean, because I started thinking, I was like, did it stop? Like, did I miss the other 3 issues? And
I originally heard when it came out that it was just going to be 2. So wow, okay.
yeah. So, I don't know. I guess I'll give it a glance, but I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm see what happens, but I'm just kind of on the fence now, just because I was excited in the beginning, and then just kind of with the delay, my interest has dwindled a lot. So
yeah, exactly. So, all right, so we have Infinity Countdown. The main title's wrapping up, but then you have Infinity Countdown Champions, Infinity Countdown Darkhawk, which is interesting because I think that Vox character we just showed you also looks very similar to Darkhawk, and I forget what the people are called for Darkhawk, but
Oh yeah, the amulet people, the crystal people.
yeah, exactly. They have a name. I forget what it is, but Raptors. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got a similar look.
The
to
helmet
that too.
design is very similar.
Yeah. So then we have Infinity Wars Prime #1. That's Jerry Duggan is doing that. And then the Hunt for Wolverine stuff will be at the penultimate issues. So that's coming out pretty soon. But July they'll be at 3 or 4 for those. We'll be at the end of the first arc for Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness's Avengers. So in July you'll get issue 4 and issue 5. Champions, and you got Thor coming out, Justin.
Great.
Yeah, Jason Aaron's still on Thor, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Immortal Hulk, issue 2. Al Ewing's on that. And Alex Ross is doing covers, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
Yep, we have Tony Stark Iron Man number 2. That'll be the second issue of Dan Slott's new run. So that'll be coming out. And that's pretty much it for... Oh, no, it's not. I lied. Spectacular. I don't know. That stuff's not interesting. Spider-Gwen will still be going. Spider-Gwen 34. You got Latour and Rodriguez still on that, but I hear they're coming off of that.
Yeah, I heard they were. That book was ending soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Robbie Rodriguez. Every time I talk to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be done really soon." But
maybe he really wants a vacation. He's just like, you know what, I'm done. Yeah. Please.
So Donny Cates will be at Venom 4. And apparently it says in this, an ancient Clintar has awakened on Earth. Bum, bum, bum. So that sounds pretty cool. A lot of people, and that's probably just PR hype, but they're like, holy shit, Donny Cates is taking this into some crazy places. So I'll be at least checking out Venom number 1.
A lot of Venom lately.
That's right.
Lots of Venom.
Lots of Venom. We got Fantastic Four True Believer stuff. A lot of that in July.
Yeah.
And that's gearing us up obviously for Dan Slott as well for the new FF. So
Sarah Pacelli released another picture of the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
And it does have Franklin Valeria in it.
Oh, okay, good.
We're getting the whole family back.
Sweet. I like that.
I thought that was cool. It's up on her Instagram or Twitter. I can't remember which one.
Okay, nice. All right, cool. I'm cruising through. This is other stuff that you typically would get from Marvel, so we'll skip that. But there is one called X Classified, and it all says classified for the actual description, who's writing it, the art. But it does have J. Scott Campbell and Scotty Young as the only 2 people doing a whole ton of variants for it. So that I'll be wondering what that is. And then we're getting the X-Men stuff, Rosenberg, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's pretty much it for July for Marvel. Let's kick it over to DC. Catwoman. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Joelle Jones with art germ B covers. July will be the month when Bendis kicks off Superman number 1. It'll be July 11th. So that'll be good. You get Adam Hughes, David Mack, Ivan Rice covers. So that'll be good. Action 1001, taking a little bit of a break between 1000, which we just got, which we'll be talking about in a second, and 1001. So that's obviously Bendis, Pat Gleason, Francis Manapul, a bunch of people in that book. James Tynion the 4th will be doing Justice League Dark number 1. That's spinning right out of No Justice. So we've talked about that before. Same with Odyssey. Batman will hit issue 50. Doomsday Clock is still trucking along.
Yep.
It'll be at issue 6 in July.
Well, I have a question, Jesse, while you're naming all these. Are because I haven't had a chance to look at it, but are these going to be monthly, bi-weekly? Do you know what the situation is with each book?
It's a mixture for some of these. I think the Bendis ones are, I think Bendis is moving it to monthly. The Superman titles, I think. I know that Brian B will know. So if you know, let us know in the comments.
Maybe they'll do it. I would think they're going to keep Batman at weekly. Or bi-weekly.
Yeah. A lot of Green Lanterns, Harley Quinn, obviously. It's not Frank Thierry anymore. It'll be Sam Humphries, John Timms. Frank Cho will be still doing the covers. Happy for that. And then,
are all the new Age of Heroes titles still there?
Yes. Sideways will be at 6. Silencer at 7. Terrifics will be at 6. So yeah, they'll still be going.
Okay.
Yeah. Titans goes back to issue 23. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff. Be a good month. And we just did the big two. Obviously, we didn't hit all the indies. So pretty cool. All right, so I guess I'll just say this really quick, and then, well, maybe we can do. Okay, so we'll do 3 things really quickly, and then we'll get into our favorite company crossovers, and then talk about what we thought about Action 1000. Okay.
Cool.
So Rick Remender, his book Deadly Class got a series order from Netflix.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. It got a pilot order back in September. Now they moved ahead with ordering a full season. So that's a pretty cool story. There's this homeless kid. He's recruited into school. And it just so happens to be all of these kids are like the kids of like the elite of the criminal world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool. It's described as like a coming of age type of story. So it's good. So I'll be looking forward to that. That'll be on Netflix. The other thing I'll mention is that F. Gary Gray has been announced as the director for M.A.S.K. That's a Paramount Hasbro project. I'm assuming through Allspark. But M.A.S.K. Mobile, what is it? Mobile Armored Strike Command?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So that should be cool. He did Fate of the Furious, and he did Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, okay.
So he's got some legit titles.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I think this is really cool. Black Panther, we've all seen it, but it's the first commercial film to get a public screening in Saudi Arabia in 35 years.
Yeah.
35 years, right? They just announced AMC doing this thing where they're going to have all these theaters. Now Black Panther is the first movie to be screened there. I think that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be wrestling there next Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, they go out there for the troops, right?
No. This is like the greatest Royal Rumble or something. Greatest Royal Rumble. They're doing it in Saudi Arabia. It's a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah?
Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
I don't think any of. Yeah. It should be. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I haven't watched too many of the pay-per-views recently. But you guys have all read intercompany crossover stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we've all read the amalgam stuff. We've all read, Marvel versus DC, and all that stuff. And unfortunately, at the early 2000s, I think it was Axel Alonso was talking shit about DC in like a interview, and that basically was what prompted them to stop doing crossover stuff for the future. But that being said, there's been a lot of stuff out there in the past. So I don't know what you guys have for that, but I think one of my favorites was Batman and Spawn. It was done by Todd McFarlane and Frank Miller.
Yeah.
But did you read the DC version?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Well, was that what was it? Something War something, right? The one I'm talking about was like the homage cover to Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. And they just like beat the shit out of each other for the whole episode or the whole issue. And the art in that thing was it was on point. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was Todd McFarlane, like, at his like best, if you want to say like that was a great one. So
yeah.
Visually, story-wise, that can be debated, but visually,
it was pretty simple, straightforward type of story. But
yeah. And it's cool because that Batman. So Spawn exists in the Dark Knight universe,
right?
Because that Batman story takes place. Like there's only like that Batman, All-Star, Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder, and then the Dark Knight stuff. All the Millerverse.
You guys made me think about one of the smart moves that I think Todd did with that storyline was, do you remember when at the end Batman threw his Batarang in Spawn's face?
It like stuck right in his face. Like that.
Yes, and he carried that out throughout so many issues of Spawn. which I thought was pretty good, just to kind of like, it was just kind of like a memory note of that epic crossover of the two characters.
Just because people would then be like, where did he get that scar on his face? Got to go back and find that issue, man.
That's right. It was pretty smart.
First appearance of the scar.
Yeah. That's right.
Key leaders, go.
Did you guys ever read Devil's Reign?
No.
It was Top Cow and Marvel. There's some like Michael Turner covers and stuff. Yeah.
I had Wolverine Cyberblade.
Yep, that was part of it. Yep.
Yeah. So it was when they were doing like the X-Men Cyberforce stuff.
Uh-huh.
I had Wolverine and Badrock. I actually have 2 copies of Wolverine and Badrock.
Yeah. Spider-Man Gen 13 was another one.
Yep.
X-Force and Youngblood. That was another one.
Yeah.
That fits so well.
I know. Same with JLA Wildcats. They did that one too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy. I remember. I think it was a multi-issue one, multi-issue comic, and I know at one point, Batman gets his head cut off by the girl with the katana. She just like cuts his head off like straight up. I was just like, what the hell? I was like, I don't know if I can read this. This is nuts.
Yeah.
But it was it was a long time ago. I think my favorite one that I can think of is the JLA Avengers crossover that they did, the 4-issue one, because it was just like it was cool to see how initially both sides wanted to fight, but then after a little bit realizing what was going on and that both their universes were in trouble, how they came together and fought. It was pretty cool. Like I liked that one. It was a pretty everyone was nice, like almost like
that was
graphic novel
amalgam.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like it was after amalgam, so it wasn't quite that same thing, but it was just I mean, everybody had their own universe to live in and everything, but it was just a really fun read, and it was just like I didn't know how it. Honestly, I wasn't quite sure how much I would like it, and then after reading like the first one, I was hooked for all 4. So that was a really good series.
Yeah,
like one of the more recent company crossovers that I actually really enjoyed. I was kind of like going into it, I wasn't too sure, but the first volume of Green Lantern and Star Trek that came out, IDW and DC recently did that one. They've gone on to do a second volume, which wasn't to me as good, but the first volume was just a really cool idea to bridge those two universes and bring those characters together in a story. It was really cool. And to then of course see some of your favorite Star Trek characters get rings. So
yeah, I like that. The other one I liked as well was Batman Turtles, Batman TMNT.
Yes,
right. That was pretty cool. That was another recent one. Jackie in the comments, he says, I really liked the Batman versus Aliens. And then Brian B says Batman versus the Incredible Hulk Treasury. They had some really good ones for that, like the Superman Muhammad Ali, Superman Spider-Man was another one that was pretty cool. So yeah, the treasuries are cool. And then Jackie Wildcats versus Aliens. Spoiler: the aliens kill half the team. Yeah. Brian B. Batman Spider-Man versus Joker and Carnage was fun, and he agreed that the first Batman TMNT was cool. So
yeah.
There's some other ones like Cyblade She, Prophet and Cable. There was a classic one. I think it was George Perez who did it. It was X-Men and Teen Titans.
Yes.
Right.
And then there was a one with Superman, and he ended up fighting like Doctor Doom. It was like I think he fought Doctor Doom and the Parasite. It came out around the same time as the X-Men and Teen Titans crossover.
Yeah. Batman teamed up with Grendel at one point.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Was it Batman versus Judge Dredd? They had that series going.
That was Batman Azrael Batman.
Mm-hmm. How about what was it? He-Man Thundercats was another recent one.
Yep. That was
that was good.
Or there
I was surprised by that. I thought it was funny too. Like,
there was also Masters of the Universe versus the DC Universe.
Yes.
Yep. That's right. Yeah.
That was a good one. So there's been a ton, of course, Batman versus Predator, which Brian B's talking about too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
Danger Girl, the team, Abby Chase's team, teamed up with G.I. Joe.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe and Transformers, even though
Yep,
it was
I
kind of
was-
universe, but
I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. How about Thundercats and Battle of the Planets?
yeah. Yep.
So there's been a lot.
There's been a
Yeah.
lot. Good
Yeah.
ideas. A lot of them are good ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they would do it. Like, I wish that Marvel would do more of that again. You know, because it's some great stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Lobo Dread was great. Brian B says. So.
Then you can talk about intercompany crossovers that didn't finish. It'd be like Deathmate.
Oh yeah, I would argue that was probably, if we talk about just these type of crossovers, one of the most important, because I came at like at this really pivotal time in the 90s, you know, that was, you know, right at the point when the bubble burst.
Yep.
And was
Yeah.
one
It
of the
was-
catalysts for that happening.
A direct reason why Valiant went out of business in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that also, I think, was it the first appearance of Gen 13 is in.
Yep. That's Made Black.
Yeah.
Death Made
That's
Black.
I have that one. I bought it for $1, which is
There you go.
I-
it's funny though because people are like, oh, Gen 13, da, da. And it was really popular at one point, but it's just like, you know, it's dollar bin. You know, you can find it in dollar bins. You just have to look.
Yep.
But I mean,
That's right.
it's
out
pretty
there.
cool. You know, when you think about it.
That book will go up eventually as soon as they announce the Gen 13 TV show or movie.
Right.
One of the good things about that book, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but dude, so many people worked on that one book. Jim Lee,
All the founders, yeah.
J. Scott Campbell, Greg Capullo. So many people worked on that book,
So many
man.
great
And
names.
I'm actually working on getting all of them to sign at least one or two of those books.
Nice. That's a lot of signatures.
Yeah.
It
Great
is.
signatures. Yeah.
At least the big names.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of big names, Superman's a big name, right? He's celebrating an
I've heard of
80th birthday this year. We just got Action 1000. Did you guys read it?
No.
I read the first story.
You read it first?
The first
one?
story, yeah.
The
Yeah, I
one
read
with the,
I read
like,
a couple.
the crowd that wants
Where
to
they
thank him.
tricked him, yeah.
Nope.
He was trying to fight the aliens, and everyone was like, "No, just go to your thank you party."
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't read it. I just left it right on the shelf. Really, I was just like, don't feel like buying it too much. You know, I just
Well, you know, I thought about you, Chris, when I went. I almost did what you suggested, but shops, I don't know how y'all shops were, but shops where I was at, they were actually selling out of Action 1000.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not my show.
I
Yeah,
got this
my
Michael
part-
Cho one, the
Yeah,
1940s cover.
Yeah.
And I got the blank one too. I already have
Yeah.
an idea for that. You guys know I lost one of my dogs recently, so I thought that that blank cover would be perfect to do. Her, you know, that cover of Crypto with the cape on.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be a perfect, like an homage type of thing with that, but with my dog in that pose and the cape on and stuff on the Action 1000 cover, right?
That would be a good idea.
So that's why I picked that one up.
Yeah, I think the blank is the only one I would end up picking up, but only when it drops down to, you know, being like dollar bin range or something like, or half off, something like that. Just because
Yeah.
that would be a cool book to have somebody do a sketch on.
Mhm.
I can say
Absolutely.
that much, but
Yeah.
for now, it's not happening.
Did your shops do a midnight release?
No, none of them are in my area.
No.
Yeah.
The bigger shops did here.
Yeah. Phil's Comic Shop, which is where Brian B works, did it. That's where I went. That's where I picked that cover up. He's saying he actually sold out of that cover. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, out of those ones, I think it was that and the '60s cover were pretty cool.
Was that the checkerboard top?
Yeah, the checkerboard top.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like those two, I think were probably the best two. The other ones get kind of weird, especially like the '90s one with all the bullet holes. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
It's
Yeah.
extreme,
like,
man. It's
like,
extreme.
what the hell?
Yeah. There's another one that people have been chasing. It's a tour edition Jim Lee cover. Hard to come by, but if you ever see that, you know, it might be, and it's the right price. That's one that people are looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me go first because gonna get the bad out the way, and then you guys can end it with all the good.
And the 9-0, right?
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with hardly any of the covers, especially the Jim Lee cover. I wasn't impressed with the Dan Jordan's cover, and I felt like you can have hologram covers for like Convergence #1 or something like that, but this right here is just very thick, kind of a graphic novel type of cover, and the price didn't really bother me because I knew it was going to be jacked up, and I kind of liked the whole idea of $8 to go with 80 years of Superman. But I just wasn't really blown away with the cover art, and I think it's just another mistake on DC, similar with how they were doing like Wonder Woman 700, 800, whatever. Nothing really about those covers really stand out, and I did like what you guys did. I grabbed the regular cover and the blank only for sketches, and that was it. I wasn't going to go hunting all these variants down, but I don't know, man. I just wasn't really impressed. I was glad to see Dan Jordan's come and do some of the interiors because that's the Superman I grew up with. That's the Superman I know of, and to see his artwork again in Superman was just took me back, and I really enjoyed it, and I wish he would have did more of it. But 80 pages is a lot for any artist. But that's just my overall thoughts about it. I thought they could have done a little bit better job. If I was to give the book a grade just on what I've observed of it already, I'd probably say like maybe a C-, C, somewhere around there.
Okay. Out of 3 letters? No,
A through F.
Oh, that's decent. Yeah. I agree though. I like Dan Jordan. He was, growing up in like the 80s and stuff, really getting into comics. That was my Superman. He was the one writing it, but they had people like, Kurt Swan, Schaffenberger, I like Jeff Johns, his writing. He did something there too. I thought it was pretty cool, like the one with the car, the old car, right? I thought that was neat. Like, I never thought, okay, what happened to that car, but it was a neat thing. That was the Jeff Johns one, but I think, and I think it was Dark Avengers C86 said it best. This is really targeted towards straight up true Superman fans. Like, this is just like a celebration of Superman and his history. So if you're super into him, you're gonna love it. If you like him, it's like a give or a take thing. And obviously, if you don't like him, you're not gonna like him, but you're not gonna like any issue. But it's really ultimately a celebration of a retrospective celebration of him and his 80 years. So if that's what you're into, that's what you get from this, and that's what you'll like.
Yeah, no, I feel the exact same way. This is, for all intents and purposes, yes, just a celebration. This is kind of the end of where it's going to go. There's something new starting after this. So it really is just a big thank you to fans of Superman,
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it was cool, like especially with the first one. Like hearing Lois, or hearing the people who came up on the stage, or the mayor, the fire person, saying thank you to him. But also in my head, I'm thinking of like DC itself speaking to Superman in those words. Like Jeff Johns saying that, or the fans saying that, or whoever it was, but a bit more like meta in terms of what it was saying with that. Some of those things, like with Wonder Woman, what she said, like, we know that you were here first, and if it wasn't for you, none of us would probably be around. Like, that was her saying it, but also I'm thinking, that's actually historically true too, So, what'd you think, Chris?
I didn't read it. I didn't even pick it up.
That's right too. Yeah,
pass it by. I was like, nope. For me, it just like I said, like I had a feeling that it was going to be more or less, anniversary issue, where it's just kind of like it seemed to me to be kind of like when you see, just an anniversary episode of a show where it's like, this is basically a clip show, and so I was just like, I'm not paying $8 for a clip show comic. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. So for me, I just I knew to kind of let it go. and eventually it'll drop, and then maybe pick it up on my own if I feel like it. But for now, I'm just gonna pass it by, just because I'm not collecting action comics or anything like that. So it's just one I could just kind of let pass.
I bet you'll find a bunch of them in a bin at Boston Comic-Con.
Oh, probably, definitely.
Right?
I mean, because by that time it's August, it's just I mean, my shops had a bunch of them, so it wasn't like there weren't any to go around. It's just it's just gonna be one of those deals where it's just like let like summer go by, and then they're gonna be trying to clean it out with the rest of the summer stuff, or with everything else that didn't sell in the spring. It's like, oh yeah, everything's $1, so it's just I'll wait it out. We'll see.
Well, the thing that I am sad about is the fact that we all kind of, well, with the exception of Chris, we all kind of hyped this up a little bit because we were all talking about this for a while, man. Action 1000, then Detective Comics 1000, and
500,000 copies sold. That's what we were talking about last week.
2 weeks. Yeah. That would be good to look at the numbers in a couple months, by the way.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
it just didn't meet my expectations, man, and I really feel let down.
Yeah. The other thing too, and I think you picked it up, Edwin, was the hardcover thing.
Oh God!
Right,
Justin, did you get that?
No.
I thought you said you pre-ordered. You pre-ordered, then you went back on it.
You changed his mind.
No.
Well, since Jesse brought it up, that was a big waste of money and complete
$30, wasn't it?
Trash. Well, I got 25% off because I paid ahead of time, but all it was, 95% of the book was just reprints of older Superman stories, and I was like, why did you charge $30 for this, and why did I pay for this?
It was supposed to have the actual issue in it. It was supposed to have a poster in it at one point. Like they changed the solicit like 3 or 4 times on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my shop was like, I could bring it back and get a refund, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that to you guys. I'll just keep it.
Yeah. No, but I'm with you. Especially since Rebirth kicked off, I've been back on action as like the build up to issue 1000. And, originally thinking, this is going to be crazy, it's a 1000th issue of something. This has never happened before.
Yep.
I didn't expect it to just be a celebration of the character. I thought it to be like some super milestone issue with some ramifications that went forward with the character. But
some great big extinction level event thing. Yeah. So
some great revelation about the character. Something, but no.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about $8 book over 500,000, just under 4 million before cost, to DC, which is huge. But a lot of people in the chat right now are saying that, and you guys said it too, like the shop sold out or ran out of copies of certain ones. That's pretty interesting. But Brian B also, because we were talking recently about Spider-Man 800, which is that's one of the first, I think, and I didn't fact check this, but the first Marvel book to hit 800 issues.
Yeah, probably.
Fact check it, but it sounds right. So that's going to be pretty huge for them. And they were pretty triumphantly announcing at C2E2 that they did 200,000 in sales so far for that. But Brian says 2 more ASM 800 covers were added today. So we're up to 8 for open order. There's going to be a blank and then 7 incentive covers.
Wow.
Right. That doesn't include, I'm sure there'll be plenty of store exclusives too that are not solicited. So that's a whole other thing. But he says he expects more prior to FOC, which is coming up in 2 weeks. And keep in mind, this is a $9.99 issue.
But he also said it's going to be a paper cover too, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Dang.
80 pages, $10. That's
right. Let's skip down a little bit. And then Brian says last week, meaning the Wednesday we just had, was his largest dollar-wise invoice in the last 5 years. And he's saying that Spider-Man, when the 800 issue comes out, that it will eclipse that milestone for his shop.
I believe it.
So, yeah, that's 200,000 at $9.99 versus 500,000 at $7.99.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
they said Amazing 700 was going to be the last issue.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
We
They
you know what I
lied
did
to
go
us.
to with that
Right.
is that I mean I can't specifically say that action didn't lead up to anything because I don't know, I didn't read it, but I think that because of the fact that you have that storyline with Red Goblin that's basically gonna get concluded within that in 801, I guess. I mean that's what I guess kind of justifies them having the sales numbers that they're having, even though the price is higher. It's just like you've been along for this ride and you know it's going somewhere. Whereas action really, I don't think really let you know what was going to happen. They just wanted everybody to be like, oh, it's 1,000th issue, so it's going to be something huge happening here. And it's just like, yeah, no, nothing, nothing to see here. So,
oh yeah, I mean it was definitely done. It's like it's the 1,000th issue. We're gonna pull people in off the street that don't normally read it. Let's give them something that they can pick up and just read. So yeah, I mean the actual
I can
story
see
arc
that.
ended 9.99.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. I was trying to tell people that, like with the Red Goblin thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, big, perfect issue, 800 for Red Goblin." I'm like, "No, that's not how Marvel works. People are already going to be buying the 800. You know, they're going to put it in an issue or two before that and make you buy all the issues leading up to 800.
Yeah.
They're gonna, so. But all right, so Chris and Edwin already gave one. So Justin, what is your score? Edwin gave it a C, A through F. So
I'll go. Man, I'll just go B. I'll give it a B. It was all right. Wasn't horrible. Wasn't bad. Short of my expectations by a good margin.
Okay. And then Chris didn't read it, so he gave it a NA.
Right.
All right. I give it I don't know. I give it a B minus. I'll give it a B minus. So I'm right in the middle of you two. So, all right, guys. What do you got going on this week on your channels? Anything you want to plug, or any news coming up? Any events? Any special things?
Oh, I have a new video that's up right now. I have to make more, at least another one, probably at some point this weekend because of the fact that I've missed a little time, so I have some stuff that I need to show off. But other than that, nothing happening too fun for this weekend. Next weekend is probably going to be a tough one with the movie, and there's a small con up in New Hampshire that I kind of want to get to. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get out to there. The highlight that I've seen from it is that Al Milgram's going to be there, which is kind of cool. And they're saying that it's $5 entry fee, which is right up Justin's alley and mine as well. And then it's just like no celebrities, nothing like that. Just just comics and creators and stuff like that. So I'd like to go ahead and do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Check
so
it
it's
out.
just like I want to. It's just we'll see what happens. Just because I don't know if that's going to cut into the time I have to see the movie or whatever else. It's just like so we have to see because my wife and I go to see the movie together. So it's just kind of one of those things where I don't know if I can convince her to be like, listen, I just want to go there and check out this thing. So we'll see.
Find something in the area that she would like, and play on that versus the actual event. Be like, hey, there's like a sewing shop over here. I don't know that was, but sell her on that. On the trip.
We'll see. I mean, I may be able to see what I can do and maybe just go up there and check that out. Just because I feel like for $5 and the fact that they've promoted it as really this is more for comic fans, not just like one of these big just crazy over the top media circuses that they've all become. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm crossing my fingers. But yeah, I have a new video up, so go ahead and check that one out. And more stuff to come soon.
Sweet, good stuff. All right, Justin.
Yeah, always good stuff coming up. As always, of course, Sunday morning comics on Sunday morning at 10. We'll be back at our normal time, barring any like storms or anything that happened.
Well, that's bad weather, inclement weather.
I threw up a short Sunday morning comics on Tuesday night, showing off an awesome act of kindness from the Doom 143. So big shout out to the Doom for sending me some awesome books. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, just some normal good stuff coming up.
Right on. All right, Edwin.
I should be back this Friday with Freestyle Fridays. I'm still toying around with the idea of doing a bi-weekly instead of weekly. I'm not sure, but I was sick last week, so doing that and just a lot of pressing, man, and not really a whole lot. I've been so busy, man. Y'all don't even know, man. But keep an eye on my Instagram because I'm gonna start posting a lot more before and after pictures of pressing. So
cool. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. I like seeing those. I accidentally pressed my first book this week.
Really?
Yeah, accidentally. I found a comic under a couple hardcover books, and it was pretty flat.
Use a short box or something.
I remember it being one that had a little bit of a some curvature to it, and it's pretty flat now. So yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Old school.
That's right. Some weight and some time will do the trick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so for me, I got my contest going on. It's got about a week and a half left. I got my hauls coming up. I got a couple to do. So catch up on that, and you know, some other regular old video type stuff. So definitely excited for that. Also, Justin mentioned it at the beginning. Head over to his Twitter page. He's got a poll up. He and I are going to be battling it out, or perhaps going for the first heavyweight tag team title of the world against somebody in Fanboy Fight Club, which is on Lords of the Long Box. So that should be something coming up in the near future. And of course, next week will be episode 82, where we'll have topics and stuff to talk about, some books and stuff.
82, man, that's a super milestone. You guys don't want to miss it.
That's right. That's right. So, all right, cool. And that'll do it, guys. So unless you guys have anything else to say, we'll close out episode 81 here.
Nope, just big shout out. Thanks everybody in the chat for showing up. We really appreciate your support and all your awesome comments.
That's right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your rest of your Thursday and your upcoming weekend.
All right.
See ya.
Peace out.
Rest up before Avenger.